Be a very difficult match for him, of course, being a semi-finalist in the GSL. But let's introduce our players. We do have in the bottom left, I am first. In the top left, we have none other than TSL.Revival.
Very good, Paul. I'm excited to see this ZVP. We've talked about some Zergs, we talked about some Protosses,
Yep.
but never together in this TSL thus far. And yeah, we're gonna have Entombed Valley is the first map. This is obviously a map that a lot of Zergs bitch and moan about, mostly because of ladder. If you get the lower left, lower right, or top left, top right, that's actually completely broken. That's completely imbalanced. It's really bad for Zerg. As it is, without those positions, this map is not nearly as bad for Zerg. Actually, interestingly enough, in the Korean leagues, the Zergs have a winning percentage that's higher than the Protoss on this map, which was very shocking for a lot of people.
I think that's because of the recent style of the Zergly mutaplay that basically every single Korean Zerg does, and that really does catch you off guard if you go Sentry Immortal, expand third base, and we'll see if that's going to come into play here. Both of these guys have had a fantastic tournament so far in this qualifier. Just looking at the list of players they've gone through, Revival gone through Sage, he went through OGS top, and then he beat Dongray Gu finally before... Dongray Gu.
I think I've heard of him once.
Yeah, so that's a pretty decent run. But first as well, went through Oz in a PvP. He went there. He went through Noblesse, and then Sound, and then Creator Prime. So both these guys have gone through absolutely fantastic players to be here, and it's going to be sad that one of these will leave the tournament here. Unfortunately, they will get points though, finishing in the top 8. But let's see this. We do have the Forge expander, late Forge coming down on 16 supply. But of course, that's just to increase his economy, have a better economy. He doesn't want to stop anywhere soon. Doesn't care about early aggression. Doesn't give a shit. Doesn't care. I don't care.
I'm still interested in the pylon positioning because click on that for me. I think
I'll absolutely click on it for you. The pylon.
It does kind of reach over there.
And then with the secondary pylon is look at that.
I'm stealing the crap out of that. I really like that position. I think I get too greedy with my first pylon, but as it is,
Where'd you put it? Like in the middle?
Closer to the middle. Yeah. Try to have my cake and eat it too, as it were. But with this, it's going to cover the full ramp. It's going to give easier access to the third when we do eventually get there, because they're going to play a long PvP, because that's the kind of tournament that the TSL has with great games and wonderful players. Speaking of which, did you actually get a chance to watch the last TSL?
The TSL3?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I watched almost every single game. It would be hard to reference any games, but I did watch it all. I'm not lying.
Amazing tournament. For those of you that are new-ish to StarCraft 2 or didn't have the pleasure of watching that unfold in real time, I'll just tell you the very bold statement, I think, of every online tournament, the TSL is the most well-ran. And I think it's the most I don't know how to describe this. It's just the best. Like,
it's the best
players, the best maps, the best casters. It's going to be amazing.
I mean, I think there was like 10, and they're going to correct me on this, like hot bid and so on, but there was like 10,000 people watching the draw for TSL3.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it was so sickening watching that. And it basically, the TSL is, or was, one of the StarCraft 1 Brood War tournaments. Of course, alongside WCG, but now WCG is run by money and suits and plays mobile games, so we don't really care about that anymore.
No StarCraft 2 in the finals.
Yeah. They got like Counter-Strike and mobile games. So
guys.
TSL is, of course, now Team Liquid Star League, dominating that prestige between those two guys for sure. But we are going to have a +1 attack being researched by First, so he doesn't have a probe on the map. It's actually getting chased down by these lings, and the probe will just about make its way home. Just about. But right now we do have the +1 warp gate research being done. He could easily throw down a Stargate, but what do you think his options are here? Like, he's kind of boosting Stalker.
It's interesting.
It's to get the probe out, right?
In this early Stalker, again, it's good against a kind of gasless opening, or even with the gas, the Stalker being chrono boosted like this will get out in time. And you called it Apollo Stargate, which I think is interesting, because if you look at the natural, there's no gas, and the Overlord's looking at that. Now, when the Overlord sees no gas, typically that means gateway time.
Yeah, it means the sentries come down and not the Stargate, right?
But it used to be that the no gas was the 4-gate Stalker, or excuse me, not Stalker, but the 4-gate Stargate build, where you had 2 Void Rays and then Warpins of Zealots to crack the Zerg. But the Zergs caught up in the metagame and started to really be able to hold off that attack. I wonder if he's going to cycle back and try that old school build here.
Yeah, by the looks of it, I mean, the Roach Warren, and basically what you've said is exactly what TSL.Revival's looking at. He's looking at no gas on the natural, he saw a Zealot and Stalker out, so he must be thinking there's a probe somewhere, and he got a pretty early Roach Warren too. It was like 6:20, which is like really early, because he knows that the threat is there. But the Stargate's on its way, Void Ray coming. There's no probe on the map though, so he's not really doing anything, and TSL.Revival is freaking out. He's looking all over the place. He sees now the later gases of his opponent coming down, and that's very, very normal.
Now, is he coming in with the Overlord?
No, just still there.
Okay, no. And the Stalkers are going to push out. You saw the probe there with the Stalkers. He wants to push out here. Warp Gate is about to finish. As far as gateway count, I think it is actually still just the one, right? So this won't be the timing I was thinking. In fact, fast third Nexus. So it's kind of a rendition on that last build. He's going to use the Void Rays to create a bit of a distance or zone out the Roaches, disencourage any kind of push that way.
I think this is really, really smart, like how he's played this out. Because imagine, right, what's going through Revival's head? He like faster Roach Warren, less drones, gas was thrown into Roaches, and is he seriously going to stop this now? He doesn't have speed out. There's actually no way to stop this third base, and with the 4 gases now been mounted, he can easily just go in and start building sentries, and I think he's absolutely played this really well.
It is really cool, and we've seen actually Protoss start taking this kind of risk more in PvZ, where when I say this kind, I mean like super fast thirds. This is a sub 9-minute third Nexus. That's actually insanely fast, and of course he's doing it off the backs of perceived protection, right? 2 Void Rays, they're not going to hold off, or is it actually even just one? One Void Ray is not going to hold off a Roach timing, but Zergs are nervous about the potential for it to do enough damage that if the Roach timing doesn't work and the third gets up, they're dead. It's GG.
And with the +1 armor on its way now, you've got the Twilight Council coming down, so he can continue his upgrades. Also get Blink, make that cost efficiency of his Stalkers just super, super high. But right now, of course, First is not really looking to do anything. He's just sitting comfortable on these 3 bases. The question is, what does TSL.Revival do? And he's thrown down a Spire and a Hydra Den.
Maybe the Hydra Ling Corruptor bust?
Yeah, it's possible, but
Hydralisk Dens are really
macro hatch instead of 4th base, so definitely looking for a bust here.
Hydralisk Dens are really popular against any kind of Stargate build because they feel like even if the Protoss makes a beeline to Colossus, they're going to have a chunk of time where they're facing 1 or 2 Colossus. And I guess you might be thinking, hey, if I get out a gaggle of Corruptors, or I can actually cancel out the 1 or 2 Colossus, and then my Hydra's reign supreme.
What has he seen with this Phoenix? He saw the Spire, but he hasn't seen the Hydra Den. Oh my god, that's a completely different set of weapons in order to defend this, actually. If he doesn't know about the Hydras, even though he's got a Robotics Bay coming down here, he may actually have what it takes anyway, even just blindly getting or opting to go for the Robotics Bay anyway here. But one thing certainly knows about the capability of Mutas to come into play.
Yeah, I'll have to see if it is Mutas. I don't think that it is, just because the money's not stacked
But in his mind it was Mutas until now, right? Until now he sees the Hydras.
There's the Roaches and Hydras. So I really do think we'll see like the 3rd tier, which will be Corruptors, to be added to this. But he's going to be sad. The Sim City of First, and just the way his tech is going, he will have Colossus out. He does have walls with cannons behind him. And he's got sentries, which means this Protoss is not going anywhere. That's why I like the 4th base. The 5th... well, it was the 4th hatchery, but in this case it's a 5 hatchery or whatever. The macro hatch, the double macro hatch? Nope, not even a double macro hatch. In any case, I like the potential for infrastructure for the Zerg player. I feel like he could say, oh, okay, you're buttoned down, I'll go to even take a 5th base.
Yeah, this is nice, but...
the problem is he's going to be stuck on Hydras now, though.
He's stuck on Hydras, 10 more. I have absolutely no idea what he's trying to attempt with this, because this is very, very difficult. There's 2 cannons on the 3rd, 3 on the natural. Colossus is just about out. If he goes up the ramp, force fields will trap him there and keep him there.
Yeah. There's no attack potential here, to be honest with you. Like, Hydras are great, but every time they have to go up a ramp, they expose themselves to getting force fielded in, just like you said. And they don't take a lot of damage. Not even, like, take Colossus out of the equation. And they're dead. They're going to dance for a minute. Like, doing a little dubstep dance. But,
and now Thermalant's coming. And what he could do now, because that's such a big investment, if I was, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but if I was First, I'd Chrono Boost the crap out of +2 attack, I'd get another Colossus and I'd go.
Yeah.
Because you open up such a massive timing because that was so much gas thrown away to nothing. Even though there's a lot of Hydras there, he's got a lot of sentry energy, and if he keeps the energy high, which he hasn't really overspent, he can even just walk across and kill his opponent. He could take a 4th.
+1 air attack being upgraded. I really
Wait, what?
There's the Corruptors.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought you meant for Protoss. I'm like, what?
No. And I'll tell you what, I agree with you on that timing, but if he does do that, he's going to be in a world of pain. The Corruptors will come out just in time to cancel out the Colossus.
Yeah, that's true. 7 Corruptors, 2 Colossus. Imagine though if he can snipe the Corruptors though.
Zerg's max 2, so this attack is actually exactly what he wants, because I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Do you want to sit on 30 Hydralisks when you get max? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And this is the mistake that a lot of Protoss makes. I'll tell you what. I'm ready to eat these words. Even if the Protoss attack is successful, this is a really unnecessary risk, because if these Hydralisks kill this army, the Zerg's going to win, but it looks like he's going to just counterattack. That's a big Protoss army out there, though, and I do like that pylon behind this. That means he can reinforce on the spot.
Is he going to go for it? No, surely not. Okay,
he wants a good
back.
Angle. He can't attack into that army at that angle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alright, so both of these guys baiting up. 2-0 for Revival over his opponent 2-1.
The Protoss is dead, by the way. If they fight in the open and the Zerg controls his army, the force fields won't do enough.
Alright, he's using this little hole.
Yep. This is a really precarious situation. That pylon is the only link to all production. It's not getting focused down, though. There it does die, but the Zerg's stuck in a really bad position. The Colossus do go down.
Exactly like you said. Now the Hydras have free range, man.
Yeah, and they're going to do a lot of damage.
Oh my god. Stalkers are trying to get out, Force are trying to come down, and perfect call on that. Revival absolutely crushes that. There is Blink, and he does have 2-1, but with 19 Roaches coming on, they don't have Roach speed. Oh, that sucks. That sucks so much. Because he could chase these Stalkers and kill absolutely every one of them. There is a 4th base coming down. If he can somehow get these Stalkers back, look at him blinking forward like he's in an aggressive stance. He is not. He is trying to get home. He's just looking for the best way to go. And if he can get back to that 4th base and hold it on, maybe, but 200 supply, man.
He's splintered off Stalkers. Oh, wow, Revival, you're so sex and hot. I said that so incorrectly. We're dying over here, but the Stalkers are getting chewed to pieces. 4 of them might escape. Meanwhile, the top right-hand side is getting countered. Well, not countered necessarily, but cornered. The pylons are being found. Revival's multitask here is really impressing me. I think a lot of Zergs would have actually had a tough time tracking down those Stalkers, but not Revival. And it's interesting to note, just now a Colossus comes out, by the way. I was keeping my eye on that production tab. He actually wasn't building a Colossus that whole time, and with just 1 Robo, that's a big mistake, because yes, there is +2 range attack, not range, but air attack coming in for the Zerg, but the Colossus are the huge anchor for this army.
Yeah, and he's got double forge, he's not utilizing it either. He doesn't have enough gas, he's trying to take the 4th base. He actually done nothing with this double forge, and with the 4th base coming down, Mothership is on the way. That will help out so much if you can get that out in time and get it across, not just the Vortex, but being able to cloak underneath it. Even though the Corruptors will be able to do damage, the army of the Protoss will wipe the floor while cloaked against this Zerg army. But slowly but surely the hive is now done. We're having Overseers made now to join the army. I think he knows somehow about the Mothership. Does he see the fleet beacon anywhere?
He's just timing it, I guess.
Wow, that's really impressive actually, if he's making Corruptors to join this army.
Now that's still a lot of Hydras. We have a major engagement in the middle of the map. That's a weird place to fight because the chasm is right there, but I'm not seeing much hope for the Protoss. I think this is a cost-effective trade. I think the Protoss will win this fight. But the sentries died, the Colossus died, and now a lot of Stalkers are dying as well.
21 Hydras coming from this, and Blink will carry him through this war here, as long as he continues to Blink micro well, and it will work, but 21 Hydras? That is basically saying, guess I'm not going Infestors or going for Great Spire anytime soon.
Hydras cannot run, they are committed to this fight. We'll have to wait till Heart of the Swarm when they can actually bedazzle the floor and run across it. Probes still going out on the map. It's the mark of a good Protoss. You need to have multiple pylons out on the map for that harass. You'll notice the Protoss has 1,500 minerals. Well, one of the ways you can spend that is warping in like 8 Zealots and sniping a base. That's a great way to spend that money.
And we now are having the double forge being used, +3 attack on the way, +2 armor. Blink Stalkers get out just in time from these links, but so many more Hydras are coming down. The Mothership is somewhere. Did you cancel it?
No, it's out there. It's there. Green Protosses like to stick it in the corner because it has like a recall ability, but also they don't want to expose it, and also they want to reveal, hey, I've got 200 energy, and they can do a couple double vortexes.
Yeah. That's pretty smart.
It's interesting. I don't know. I personally like to show it off because it adds so much strength, but also Zergs don't really have a good way of judging how much energy it has, so they kind of freak out every time they see it. And then they click on it and they're like, oh, okay, it doesn't have 100 energy, but it gets 100 energy pretty fast, so it's like a really super strong deterrent. But you'll notice, like, he'll leave it over here the whole time until it has a lot of energy.
That's interesting.
Minor mistake, but worth noting. There's only 2 probes in one of the gases at the 4th for the Protoss, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's actually a big deal. That could really hurt as time goes on.
Shields upgrade on the way as well. Do have the armor and a 5th base coming down for first. Bit of a surprise. Do these units have Burrow? No, I guess he's too gas intensive with Hydras to actually even think about trying to do that. But 9 Broodlords.
No
Oh
infestors.
god. No infestors indeed.
Infestors. That's a critical stat, Apollo. I mean, Hydras are cool,
Hydras.
but without infestors, you can blink right under them. Now, of course, everyone's like, well, that's what the Ling and Hydras for. Yes, it is. But if we can get some Colossus out here, which we still do see being produced, those Hydras don't last very long.
Yeah, very weak army from the Zerg. Very weak. They only have +1 carapace. Ling and Hydras don't have the highest health anyway, but now he's charging down with all these Broodlords. The Mothership has to come, and it's 150 energy, man.
It's behind the fight. The Protoss is pinned by his own position with his base here, but because there's no infestors, he might be okay. And the Hydras are staying under the Broodlords. You'll notice that great army position, but there's the Vortex, which means half the Zerg army is gone.
God. What a great fight this is by First.
The thing about that Vortex that's funny, though, is like there's no Archons, so it just removes them from the fight, that's all.
Yeah, and then he can, segment them up, and then he can just blink in, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see the Colossus doing a lot of damage, but, I mean, the Protoss is going to take this fight in a resounding way, and honestly, the big mistake here is not having any infestors at all. Even if you only have 4 or 5, those fungals on the Stalkers keep them at bay while your frickin' Broodlords do so much damage, but as it is, the Zerg's throwing this away. He's dead. And with the pylons on the right side, watch this. I mean, eventually...
Yeah, he's going to bounce back now. He won't even take a 5th base. First knows he can win this game right now. He's at +3 attack, +3 armor, is almost ready to, and with just consistent Stalker reinforcements, like you said, the pylons on the right-hand side will be used to reinforce this, absolutely, and he'll be charging down at that 5th base. He may even just go straight for the throat here.
He's just winning fight after fight.
Yeah.
Somehow the supplies are close, and it's a tip of the hat to how good of a macro play Revival is, but as you can see, there's that pylon roaring to life. Zealots coming out in the most inconvenient location. Meanwhile, there's an army in the middle of the map that just simply won't die from what we're seeing. Even now, the Zerg player's making drones because of what a weird position he's in.
And the Colossus are going to shred everything. There's 4 Colossus there with +3 attack now, +3 armor. They are not actually going to die. He has almost no anti-Colossus. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And Hydra's being made. This is a very, very easy walk towards and kill your opponent kind of move by First. And there's even another Vortex.
Yeah. It's not good. I mean, we talked about how he doesn't have anything to put in the Vortex, but the idea here is he can actually zone out. Yep, look at that. There goes half the army. And
doesn't even come out.
Doesn't need it. What he would have done is go